Have you ever found yourself, kind of drawn in by those stories of self-made millionaires?
Yeah, the whole image of it, right?
Yeah, fast cars, exotic vacations, building an empire from scratch, and maybe even like inspiring others along the way.
It's definitely a captivating narrative.
It is. And that's kind of the world we're diving into today.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was sparked by this YouTube video I came across from Stories from Kenya.
Okay.
The title is, let me get it right, The Rise and Fall of Khalif Khairo, Fake Lifestyle Fraud and Lies.
That title itself is quite a story, right?
Yeah.
Rise and fall, fake lifestyle, fraud, lies. It's got it all. What's the core of this one?
Well, the thing that immediately grabbed me is that, the speed of it all.
Yeah, how quickly things can change.
Exactly. Someone seemingly becomes like this overnight success story, right?
Right.
But then it all just vanishes just as fast.
And it makes you wonder, right? Like, what was real, what was fake?
Exactly. Was there any substance beneath the surface? Or was it all just smoke and mirrors?
And were there, like, vulnerabilities that we maybe couldn't see at the time?
Yeah, were there signs,
Exactly.
So today we're focusing on a Khalif Khairo, born Joseph Khairo Woy in Nairobi back in November 1996. And this is a guy who, by his own estimation, went from being the head of a billion-shilling company
Wow.
to a fraud suspect in just 5 months.
Oh, wow. So by January 2025, that's...
a wild swing.
Yeah, that is wild. I mean, 1 billion shillings claimed in such a short time. That's a huge amount of perceived success. And then to go from that to fraud suspect, it just shows how shaky things can be.
Absolutely. And that's what we're really trying to unpack here. How did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, how did he rise so fast?
Exactly. And more importantly, what led to his downfall? Because Khairo, he was really good at building an image, private planes.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those kinds of things online.
High-performance motorcycles, luxury cars, skydiving, even shooting.
It's like a highlight reel of the aspirational life, right?
Exactly. And the YouTube video, they call it a cult-like following.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we really need to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did he build such a strong personal brand using these symbols of wealth and success?
It's fascinating, isn't it, how these online personas can be so persuasive?
Definitely.
And that's why this story is so relevant. Like, how does someone seemingly achieve this level of success so fast, and what can we learn from it, especially when it all falls apart? So let's get into it. Let's start with his early years.
Okay, so often, those early years are really important. And in Khairo's case, he came from pretty modest beginnings. His mom ran a kiosk.
Struggling to make ends meet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just trying to get by each day. That detail, it helps us understand what might have driven him.
It's a familiar story, right? The classic humble beginnings narrative.
Yeah.
And it seems like those early experiences really had an impact. Like by age 10, he was already managing his mom's shop.
Oh, wow. So young.
Yeah. So he got like this hands-on experience with the business really early on.
That's incredible. I mean, managing stock, dealing with customers, handling money, that's a crash course in business, even if it's on a small scale.
Totally. And then, there was this neighbor, a car dealer. And this guy, he had like the nice cars,
The lifestyle.
Yeah, he seemed financially comfortable, and that really sparked something in Khairo, this lasting fascination with cars.
That's so interesting how role models, especially when you're young, can really shape your aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing someone who has what you want can be so motivating.
Totally. So he went to Huduma Primary, then World Hope Academy, then Dorothy High School. And finally, he graduated from Kahu'uru in 2014. A pretty typical education.
Right.
But it was after school that he really, really focused on getting into the car business.
And I guess that early passion sparked by his neighbor, that stayed with him, right?
Yeah. But getting into the industry wasn't easy at first. Like, he tried to get advice from established car dealers, but they basically dismissed him.
Because he was too young.
Yeah, too young, not enough experience. They didn't take him seriously.
I bet that was discouraging. But it sounds like he didn't give up, right?
Oh, absolutely not. He started what the video calls hustling around Gong Road, just looking for any opportunity to get his foot in the door.
That's that hustle mentality, right? Not letting setbacks stop you.
Yeah, and it paid off. Like at 18, he got a job at Ocean Cross Valley Arcade. And these next 2 years, they were crucial. He was learning customer interaction, negotiation, pricing, the whole 9 yards.
Wow, so it was like his real-world business school, learning by doing.
Yeah, exactly. So then we get to 2017, and Khairo decides to go solo. But here's the catch. He didn't have any inventory, no showroom, no registered company, nothing.
So how did he operate?
He went digital.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yep.
He created this Facebook page called CIF Khairo. It was like his online showroom.
Interesting.
He'd source cars, post them with his markup, and basically broker the deals. He also used OLX, which at the time was considered a pretty reliable platform in Kenya for this kind of thing.
So he was kind of ahead of the curve, right?
Yeah.
Using social media and online marketplaces like that?
Totally. And it worked. He started getting consistent inquiries. It showed there was a demand, and his approach was actually viable.
It's so encouraging when you get that initial positive response.
Right. It's like, okay, I'm on the right track here.
Exactly.
So then this is where he makes a key connection. He meets Jesse and Purity from Urban Drive, and they introduce him to car imports.
Oh, so that really expanded his potential.
Hugely. And he considered them like mentors, almost like parental figures in the industry.
That's great. Having mentors, especially in a complex business like car imports, is so valuable.
Yeah, they gave him knowledge, connections, resources he wouldn't have had on his own.
Absolutely.
So he rebrands to Imports by Khairo, and things really take off. He's still learning from Jesse, but he's also establishing his own presence online.
So he's striking that balance between learning from experienced people and maintaining his own independence.
Yeah, and that's important. Then fast forward to 2019, and he partners with Clement Victor Kinya and Ibrahim Wangi Karanja under the IBK brand. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky.
Oh, how so?
Because there are different versions of how this partnership actually started.
Different sides to the story.
Yeah. So according to Khairo, it was an equal partnership. He says he was the one driving the business, developing strategies, choosing the Diamond Plaza location, hiring staff. He was even the only one authorized to sign on the company's bank accounts. But other sources suggest that Clement and Ibrahim came to him with an investment offer.
So, like, they'd provide the money, and he'd be the face of the operation.
Exactly. And that's a big difference, right?
Huge difference.
Hmm?
An equal partnership versus an investor-funded venture, that changes everything.
Hmm.
Ownership, decision-making, profits, everything.
Yeah, and it probably led to some of the problems they had later on. So at first things were good, IBK was booming, sales are up. But then tensions started to appear. Khairo apparently wanted a bigger share of the profits.
Which, is understandable in a way.
Yeah, but his partners weren't having it. So by 2022, they remove him as CEO.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was basically demoted to doing YouTube reviews and customer service. And get this, new employees were told to treat him as just a brand name, not a leader in the company.
That's got to be a blow to the ego, right?
A big time. But it doesn't end there. Clement eventually cuts him off completely, removes him even as a commission director, and this sparked a huge reaction online.
Oh, yeah. Social media loves a good drama.
Yeah, his followers, they were upset. They were rallying behind him.
So it became a public thing.
Yeah, it went beyond just a business dispute.
Interesting. So how did Khairo handle this?
He used it to his advantage.
Clever.
Yeah. He saw it as a chance to rebrand and really dominate online.
So he turned a setback into an opportunity.
Exactly. He reconnected with Jesse from Urban Drive, who let him use their car yard for his new venture,
Okay.
Kai and Khairo.
Interesting name.
Yeah, and there are these unconfirmed rumors that Kai and Khairo actually started as a joint venture with a woman named Caroline.
Oh.
Yeah, and that she was forced out, with Khairo taking over her shares.
Well, it's important to remember those are just rumors.
Of course. But it adds another layer to the story, right?
Yeah, that does.
So regardless of those rumors, Kai and Khairo, they blew up. The video says that at one point, almost everything on X, formerly Twitter, was about Khairo.
That's huge.
It was wild. And his social media strategy was basically to share everything. His family, his business, his hobbies, his relationships, everything.
So like total transparency.
Yeah, or at least that's how he presented it. But the way people saw him started to change. He went from being the underdog to being seen as arrogant, boastful. Well, the video mentions things he said, like how much his son's motorbike cost, how expensive his office was, stuff like that.
So he kind of lost that relatable quality.
Yeah, and it started to turn some people off. But here's the thing. He understood how social media worked, especially X. He knew that drama got attention.
Oh, yeah. Controversy sells.
Exactly. He even said in a podcast interview that whenever he was trending, whether it was good or bad, they sold cars.
Wow.
So he'd pick fights online with people he called brokies.
Brokies?
Yeah, basically people he saw as, like, financially unsuccessful.
Ah, okay.
He even went after big names like the roaming chef.
Oh, wow. So he was deliberately courting controversy.
It seems like it. And his marketing campaigns, they were out there. Remember that poem contest he did?
What was that?
It was for his girlfriend. He offered a car as a prize for the best poem praising her.
Oh, wow. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, it got people talking, that's for sure. Then there was what the video calls his petty expansion. He took over the old Imports by Khairo location at Diamond Plaza, even though he supposedly didn't have the money to fill it with all the luxury cars he wanted to display.
So it was more about the image than the substance.
Yeah, it seemed like a power move.
Yeah.
And he also opened a headquarters in Westlands for Kai and Khairo, and this new venture he started, Jetman Global.
Jetman Global?
Yeah, for aircraft leasing.
So he was branching out.
Big time. But then we get to a major turning point. The Gen Z protests against the finance bill. At first, Khairo was all about it. He was vocal, he was supportive, and it really gained him a lot of goodwill, especially with younger Kenyans.
So he was aligning himself with a popular movement.
Yeah. But then he totally switched gears. He told protesters to avoid State House and basically declared victory prematurely, and people felt betrayed.
Oh, so he lost a lot of support.
Yeah, people accused him of being bought, of putting his own interests ahead of the movement. It was a big hit to his credibility.
Yeah, that's a tough one to come back from.
And around the same time, the online conversation was shifting. There was more focus on things like government accountability, enforced disappearances, serious stuff. So Khairo's usual content, all the wealth flaunting, it just wasn't as engaging anymore.
So he was losing relevance.
Yeah, his tweets weren't getting as much attention. And importantly, his car sales dropped.
Oh, that's not good.
No. And he'd had smaller controversies before, like trying to sell a written-off car, but those were nothing compared to what was coming.
Oh.
Starting in December 2024, people started accusing him of taking money for cars and then never delivering them.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't just a few people, it was a lot of people.
So a pattern of potentially fraudulent activity.
Yeah, and the amounts were big, like 26 million shillings for a Range Rover that never showed up.
That's a lot of money.
2.1 million for a Honda Vezel, 2.9 million for a Subaru Outback. One guy even had his Volvo V40 repossessed, even though he'd paid Khairo in full. And these were just the cases the video mentioned. Apparently, there were over 10 similar complaints.
So this was potentially a systemic problem with his business.
It seems like it. And Khairo's response was basically to say, well, lawsuits happen when you're a successful entrepreneur.
No, trying to downplay it.
Yeah, but it didn't work. People were angry. There was this great analogy on Twitter. Someone compared him to a property manager who collects rent but never gives it to the landlord.
That's a perfect analogy.
It is, right? So in January 2025, the arrests started, first for the Volvo thing, and the videos of that went viral. Then he was charged with obtaining money through false pretenses for a Volkswagen Tiguan, 3 million shillings that never materialized.
So the legal trouble was really piling up.
Big time. He got bail, but his crowdfunding campaign on WeFunder, which had supposedly raised almost 13 million shillings, that tanked immediately.
I bet.
And by the end of January, all his businesses were shut down, and then the Kenya Revenue Authority got involved, charging him with tax evasion and money laundering. Yeah, it all unraveled pretty fast. And the irony, right? This guy who'd been flaunting his wealth was now begging his followers for money online and blaming unknown forces and bloggers.
So deflecting responsibility.
Yeah. And he'd made fun of people for doing that exact same thing before. The YouTube video calls it a classic Ponzi scheme.
Meaning he was using money from new clients to pay off older debts, essentially.
Yeah, and it was only a matter of time before the whole thing collapsed. As of the video's release, Kai and Khairo is still closed. But Khairo's trying to come back with a new online platform connecting car buyers and sellers.
Already.
Yeah. He wants to charge sellers a listing fee based on the website traffic he claims he still gets. But the big question is, will anyone trust him enough to do business with him again?
Yeah, that's the core issue, isn't it, after everything that's happened?
Exactly. Trust is everything in this business, and he's burned a lot of bridges.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for him.
So to sum it up, we've got this quick rise fueled by social media, followed by accusations of fraud, and then a very public downfall. It's like a cautionary tale of the digital age.
Yeah, it really makes you think about online personas, you know,
Yeah.
and how success online can be so misleading.
What looks like success.
Yeah, exactly.
It also raises questions about ambition,
Yeah.
how far is too far, and the importance of ethics in business, because once that trust is broken, it's really hard to get it back.
Yeah, that's a key takeaway.
So here's something to think about. In this online world where things can be so easily manipulated, how do we tell the real from the fake? How do we know who to trust?
That's a great question. And it's something we all need to be more aware of.
Maybe take some time to think about how you evaluate success stories online. What are your criteria? And are they good enough to protect you from potentially getting involved with something that's not what it seems?